All right, let's dive into one of the biggest, most universal headaches in any HR department. That endless, soul-crushing pile of resumes. If you're in HR, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You're buried under attachments, manually typing every little piece of candidate data into your system. It's just a massive time sink. But what if I told you you don't have to be stuck in that cycle? The good news is there is a much better, way more efficient way to handle this whole thing. So first, let's just break down the real cost of that manual pileup, because believe me, it's way more than just a simple headache.
See, the real problem is how these things stack up. You've got high error rates from all that data entry, which slows down hiring. That leads to your team getting completely burned out. And all that time they're spending on boring tasks, that's time they're not spending on the important stuff, like actually talking to your best candidates.
So what's the fix? Well, it all comes down to automation. And to see how it works, let's take a look at an example from our source material called ZAPTEST. Okay, in simple terms, here's how a tool like this works. It basically watches you do your manual screening process just one time. Then, poof, it turns that into an automated workflow that runs for you every single day, pulling the data, checking it for accuracy, and completely getting rid of any need for manual input. Okay, but what does this transformation really look like? Let's get into the numbers, because honestly, they're pretty staggering. A 90% reduction in manual effort. Just let that sink in for a second. That's like getting 9 out of every 10 hours your team currently spends on this stuff handed right back to them. And this just lays it all out, right? The difference is night and day. You go from a process that's slow and full of mistakes to one that's fast, accurate, and actually speeds up your entire hiring timeline. And this isn't just a one-time fix. Oh no, the benefits keep scaling. Because once you've automated this, you can start applying it to other HR functions. And that's where you start looking at a potential 10x return on your investment. And that brings us to the really big idea here. This is about so much more than just efficiency. It's about turning HR into a strategic powerhouse for the business. The source material puts it perfectly. This is more than automation. It's turning hiring into a competitive advantage. And what that really means is when you can find and hire the best people faster than your competition, HR stops being just a cost center and starts being a driver of real success. At the end of the day, this is what it's all about. You're freeing your team to focus on the human stuff, the things that really matter. We're talking better interviews, better engagement, and building a real long-term strategy. It's about letting them do their absolute best work. So, I'll just leave you with this question to think about. Imagine what your team could actually accomplish with 90% of their screening time back. How would that kind of automation totally transform your HR department?